Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon, and today I will do a little bit fun discussion, and this time for those people who want to pull for Ganyu. So have you wondered or you're kind of observed recently, people rarely recommend about Ganyu, or even content creator or theorycrafters rarely kind of recommend Ganyu. Is she actually become bad, or is she actually lose appealing from another character or something like that? So yeah, that's the topic about I want to talk. Of course, this is basically most of from my opinion. I cannot really read all of their minds, but probably some of these like the probable answer. So let's get started. So before we really into the topic like why people really recommend about Ganyu, we'll kind of learn first a little bit about the state of Ganyu right now. So first one that I will talk is that about like she doesn't have any changes since 2.0. Basically, Ganyu since maybe have Kazuha has no like so much change. Basically, only Kazuha that changed to Fenty, and yeah, that's all the alternative. And yeah, because of that, it's like there's no much change in Ganyu play team. And usually, if people use Ganyu, it's only for kind of melt and freeze, and that's only things that usually use for Ganyu. So because of that, there's not so much change in Ganyu. Yeah, there's a little bit changes in 3.0 that I will talk in the next point, but yeah, in here the link is that if usually character don't have so much change, it's kind of lose the trend. It's kind of lose the kind of people want to talk about those character. Let's say kind of Raiden. Raiden is a character that the trend is not really going down just because of course Archon, and like she has different playstyle right now, because before you can play Raiden National, now you can play Raiden like kind of in the Hyper Bloom or something like that. So it has variation right now. People still can hype. Even like Kaya itself, the only 4-star, it has like different like variation when Dendro come. Like if you have her like kind of hyper fridge on something like that, Kaya can be in those team. But so because of that, it's a little bit loose kind of trend, and those team also don't have so much variations. Only like pretty much 6 or 7 like those kind of character that you can mix and match with Ganyu. It's not weak. It's just like don't have any variation, and usually kind of people tend to kind of not talk about it. And I will talk about the changes with Ganyu. It's actually only minor, but there's 2 changes. First one is Nahida that can over for burning melt, just because like before usually we rely on Kazo burst or like Shangli burst itself, right, to trigger the melt. But this one, Nahida can help also in terms of something like that from the burning itself, because burning continuously deal the pyro damage, so you can also continuously kind of do melt when Ganyu do charge shot or even the burst. So that's another way to play for Ganyu. That for me right now, that's the most fun, which in Nahida burning melt team. And then the next change, which is Dia. I know Dia right now has so much controversy, but Dia actually pretty good in Ganyu melt, just because Dia can provide like resistant interruption, which is Ganyu really need in terms of charge shooting. And then the next one, like she is Pyro that can kind of apply Pyro for like some period of time, which is pretty good for Ganyu for the Ganyu melt. So because of that, this is another way for you to play, so you kind of become less reliant on Zhongli or even Diona. So this is like another way for you to play. And in terms of endgame things like Spiral Beast, basically Freeze Ganyu is kind of like struggle or kind of less reliable compared to Melt Ganyu due to enemy composition, of course, not because Ganyu fault. It's also faced by Ayaka and other Freeze team, just because usually a lot of the enemy recently kind of cannot be freeze and cannot be grouped, so Freeze kind of lose the appealing itself though. So because of that, Ganyu lose kind of also appeal. But recently, thankfully, it's kind of pretty okay for using freeze, so Ganyu can do that. But last chamber, especially in the Winnet, that's actually pretty much painful to use kind of freeze team. So because of that, that's one of the currently situation for Ganyu. So because of that, the state of Ganyu, the next one is that Melt become more reliable for Ganyu. So recently, I think if you want to become Ganyu main, it's better for you to just go for Melt, just because Melt get more advantage than Freeze. Freeze is kind of depends on the enemy. If the enemy cannot Freeze, really struggle. So Melt become more reliable, especially with carrying a Spiral Beast. Okay, so now you kind of know what the situation right now with Ganyu. We will talk like now to the main thing, why actually rarely people want to recommend or kind of talk about Ganyu anymore. So I will start first, which is first, basically if you kind of know like how the Ganyu playstyle is, that the main gimmick, which is charge shot, and you know how fragile is charge shot. Any single just hit, the charge shot already cancelled. So either like the playstyle can be super satisfying or super fun, or even can be super annoying. It's very depends on what the enemy itself do. So when you have like some like aggressive like kind of type of enemy, especially like kind of concrete piece, especially don't have any like resistant interruption when you do charge shot and they keep attacking you, and then yeah, you know how much annoying it is. Me as a one of the Ganyu man, I really like Ganyu, even until right now. That actually can be super annoying that I actually hate. So you only don't have any option to just put what Zhongli or any character that have resistant interruption though. Iris, if you keep getting kind of strike or something like that and miss charge shot, you cannot perform even charge shot. How frustrated like that? You will hate that so much.
I will send you to Jesus.
On the other hand, if you keep kinda do charge shot and it keep hit the enemy and it keep trigger melt, that's actually very satisfying. And I can guarantee at least you can deal like above 60k or something, 50k or that. So you can see a lot of high number and keep melting. That's actually super satisfying. So it's the playstyle is, I would say, weird actually. It can be super annoying, it can be super rewarding. Just because of that, I would say Ganyu is a bit unstable in terms of like kind of playstyle strategy. Sometimes you maybe kind of need a lot of retry, sometimes maybe you don't. Just depends like how you good in your charge shot though, and depends also on the enemy itself. Second, this is actually a continuation, which is you really need high resistant interruption, or at least you need a very good dodge skill, which is I kind of doubt a lot of people in Genshin Impact really have a dodge skill though, because usually a skillful player will not play Genshin as far as I know. Just because recently, especially kind of in Spiral Abyss, the enemy become more aggressive, especially the stupid beast, concrete beast or whatever. They hit and sometimes you cannot even move for some reason. I don't know, maybe I have hyping. So dodge even cannot be relied on anymore. So you really need a high resistant interruption. So I really need Zhongli that full match HP before I don't even need to build like full HP Zhongli. But restfully I have to in turn if I want to play Ganyu. If not, I'll get interrupted for sure. Just because probably only white charge, the shield already break. So because of that, I have to go for the full HP build so I can do continuously like for the charge shot. If not, it break. So it can be like super annoying in that though. And I already told you how annoying that you can miss your charge shot and getting interrupted, right? And the next one is not all mobile player will enjoy playing Ganyu. I know some of you have no problem playing Ganyu in mobile, I know, but I'm one of the person that I would say I'm not comfortable playing Ganyu in mobile. I tried, but I find it's very painful. And I also know a couple people that say also the same thing. Playing Ganyu, aiming something like that is pretty painful. So if you miss your charge shot, also I would say how frustrated, right? So using harder in aim, miss charge shot, okay, triple frustration. And the last one is actually already mentioned, but I haven't pointed out. So this one I will just point it out, which is the trend, and other characters are actually more stable or kind of better though. So if we know that usually trend is just like people tend to kind of talk about the newest character. Like let's say recently we will kind of release Baiju, we'll talk about Baiju, and then before people talk about I'll hate them Wonder or something. So it's kind of like the trend itself. And Ganyu, you know how long is it? It's from 1.2 if I'm not wrong, so it's pretty much old. Not so much changes. There's no much team, so it's kind of like people cannot talk much about her anymore, just because it's pretty much just same like the old Ganyu itself. So because of that, it's already old, not so much changes, rarely people talk, so it's kind of lose the trend. And I also say the other character is kind of more stable. Let's say kind of Nahida, it's more stable. Kazuha or like DPS kind of Raiden, that's very straightforward. Or kind of Hutao, they're more stable compared to Ganyu, that you don't have to worry mischarge or getting interrupted, something like that. Now we move to the last section, which is she actually less appealing and is she actually a bad character right now for the state of Genshin Impact 3. Like how much? 6? And also say in terms of lose appealing, probably yes, just because Ganyu is an old character and not so much changes. So if there's so much changes, like what we want to talk about if there's no much changes, right? So because of that, it's kind of lose the trend. People not so much discussing anymore. So lose appealing, probably yes. But if you talk like if she like a bad character, absolutely not. She is actually still meta, especially for the like things that kind of get advantage from freeze or melt. Ganyu is actually still very good and deal a lot of amount of damage though. But I would to say she can be like pretty unstable when you can get interrupted, or you can kind of keep miss the charge shot, or you have dodge issue, something like that if you decide to not use like shield. Then yeah, it feels so painful. Like I even think sometimes, ugh, I don't want to use Ganyu. So it can be very frustrated or can be even very rewarding. So it's meta that pretty unstable. So compared to kind of national, the classic one that pretty much very stable, that it always very easy to play. Hyperbone pretty much very convenient. You only need EM. There's no much kind of things that you need to carry, just as long you interact with Dendro Hydro and then just do like Electro, then bam, easy peasy to clear. So in the end, my take, Ganyu still very good, still meta, but not everyone can enjoy this type of gameplay where you sometimes you feel so rewarding, sometimes you feel so kind of shitty or you feel so much pain that you want to mold yourself though in the same time. So in the end, if I have to give advice or suggestion, if you really like Ganyu, just pull for her. I think Ganyu is still very good. And I have to give another also recommendation to just build Ganyu Melt, just because I think Ganyu Melt right now is more consistent compared to Freeze, that more kind of reliant with what enemy type. So I suggest just to build Melt, and at the worst, probably you will have a little bit some frustration to kind of getting adjust, like you keep miss charge shot and getting used to it, probably to how to aim better, how to kind of trigger melt more often, or know kind of your location when charging shot, something like, yeah, probably at the worst you just need to train a little bit and deal a little bit of frustration. But in the end, if you like Ganyu, all your frustration will go on, right? So pretty much that's it. If you like this kind of video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and I will see you next time. And all the best with your Ganyu pool. Bye bye.